Are we having a baby?
Yeah. Yeah.
4 weeks ago, I was coming back from a 3-week trip in Turkey, and 2 weeks before that, I started having some incredibly weird heart problems. Now, the trip to Turkey was incredible, and don't worry, I brought footage. But here's the thing. 2 weeks before, something started going funny with my heart. And while I was in Turkey, I got a high heart rate notification on my Apple Watch. Now, I've had those before in the past, and I've assumed it was I had it positioned wrong on my wrist, etc., etc. So I thought, instead of freaking out, why don't I just take the Apple Watch off, leave all the stress behind? The only problem is that while I was there, my heart issues kept on going. And ultimately, I had, I think, 3 or 4 instances where something kind of, I don't know, something weird happened. Like I felt this really heavy force on my chest, and I had indigestion nonstop. Now, that was terrifying. I was trying to just put it all out of my mind, but it kept kind of resurfacing. I kept getting pains. I kept feeling my heartbeat. I kept feeling like it was not good. And I knew that when I came back, I would do something. But before I did that, I was like, I'll just take it easy. I'll chill. First week back, I got another high heart rate notification. The second week back, I then got 2. And I knew something needed to be checked. So I eventually called my doctor's surgery. I got a same-day appointment. But it wasn't with the doctor, it was with the doctor's pharmacist, which was not the person I needed to speak to, I guess. She said that she'd booked me the next available appointment because she definitely thought I needed to speak to a doctor. And that appointment was in 2 weeks. And this was on a Friday. And she said to me, just to let you know, I would try and get an emergency same-day appointment. So, fine. Terrifying. Here's the thing, what could it be? Who knows? Who can say? One thing is for sure, I've had a lot of stress in my life the last few weeks. Not the baby, don't worry, that's not mine. That's my best friend Jade, she is pregnant. Odds on naming the child Hunter?
Do you know what? Hunter was always on my list of names once upon a time.
My actual baby!
Yes! Right, so you're the niece or nephew?
Nephew.
Everyone thinks it's a boy.
It's a boy.
I'm holding that for a girl.
It's a boy, I'm sorry. Have a good night, get home safe. Bye. I'm very jealous of her future son or daughter because Jade is an incredibly nurturing and loving person. My stress has been that there's been so much change going on in my life, and I haven't really had a chance to stop and consider how it's affecting me and what I need to do next. And I've just been kind of putting off engaging with a lot of it. And I'm not sure if it was my body basically telling me, you have to stop. And I'm still not sure. So that Friday, after I spoke to the pharmacist, a relationship I'd been in as well for the last nine and a half months also ended. So it's definitely been a wild, wild, wild few weeks. Now, the cool thing is that I'm still here. I have been so stressed. I have been so worried. And I did call the doctor on the Monday, went in, saw them. We're doing 24-hour heart monitors. We're doing ultrasounds on my heart. We're doing cardiologist appointments. I'm getting all the help that I need. Now, the insane thing about all of this is that a couple of months prior, I'd actually developed an app. I feel like a beauty YouTuber. This is BP Buddy. Now, I am by no means a developer. I say that my skill set in the world of development is that I know just enough information to be dangerous. However, with the advent of AI and LLMs and everything that's going on in the technical world, I have entered into a little thing called vibe coding. Now, for the uninitiated, vibe coding is essentially where you use ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude. You use them to code an app. Now, I guess accidentally fell into the world of vibe coding. It was something that the person I was seeing at the time was doing, and I got really excited and encouraged to try it out, and I really enjoyed it. I also have ADHD, and one of the things that I have to do because I have ADHD is take my blood pressure. Now, with that, you can probably understand why the heart thing is a little bit worrying. The app that I was using in the past was no longer working, no longer available. I sat down and said to myself, look, this is a project I want to work on. I'm going to develop a replacement for the one that I love. And I did. And I launched it on the Apple App Store at some point a few months ago. I'm trying to remember when it was, but I can't. Cool thing is that people bought it. It was in the top charts in Japan for the Japan Health and Fitness, or I'll put it up on the screen. It was in the charts for I don't know, I guess 20 minutes. And because I use Firebase Analytics, I can still see that people are using it to this day. Now, that's incredible given that I haven't made any changes on it since I first released it. Given whatever's been happening with my heart, I realized I really needed to step up my game and be monitoring my blood pressure rigorously. After that Friday, I took myself out to London to go and work on the app. I sat down, I wrote a plan of every single thing that needed to be in it from a technical perspective. I also went and did hours and hours and hours, and I'm still doing hours of research on how to make this app one of the best blood pressure monitoring apps that it can be. Now, it may seem silly, but for someone like me, something like this is incredibly important. And with everything I'm going through, there might be something within this app that helps me find something out. I'm having the best time vibe coding and building this app and spending my time learning about it. What's transpired for me in all this chaos of not knowing what's next, not knowing what's going on, feeling like one of the most lost boys in all the world, I have become completely consumed by this project. One of the things about vibe coding is that everyone who's doing it is still trying to figure it out. But we've barely scratched the surface, if anything. Vibe coding is still very much a new concept to me. So I spend a lot of time in different parts of the internet learning more about it, learning what people are doing to improve their performance, their outcomes, obsessing about it to a large degree. Now, I'm aware that a lot of people who vibe code expect to just put something out into the world and it explode and they make hundreds of millions of pounds, and that isn't the reality. When I released mine, that didn't happen. A good couple of people bought it. I think I know 3 of them, of the maybe 6 or 7. Now, when I first launched this project, I did 0 marketing. Absolutely nothing. And like I say, people still found it. It was in the charts. There's still so much to do. So I've spent the last week completely retooling how it all works, ensuring it's incredibly safe, ensuring the privacy is on point. Ultimately, I want people who use it to just feel confident when they use it, because I want to feel confident when I take my blood pressure at the moment, because I don't know what's going on with me. And outside of just the heart health scare, my life the last month and a half, I guess, feels like it's getting too much for me to handle, and that could have triggered the heart could have triggered that feeling. I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg, but one thing I do know is that I've been loving working on this app, and I have another app that I want to work on, and I also want to work on one more important project, and that is myself. Now, with everything going on, it's incredibly exciting to have something that I can turn to keep my mind slightly occupied. Now, the weekend that just passed, I went back out to London, finding different coffee shops, finding different places to work, and just develop the app further. And we're getting to a place now where it's almost finished. in terms of the technical side, I just kind of want to redesign it now. So I'm hopefully going to finish redesigning it this week. Also, if you can see this blood pressure reading, this isn't mine, this is just a test one. I want to make it as clear as possible so that anyone who uses it is getting something as medically sound as I can make it. When I built it, it was very much a case of just throw it together, make it happen, put it into the world. That was because I was kind of testing myself in the world of vibe coding. I think based on the fact that I have an app on the App Store, it worked. So in the next few weeks, I'm hopefully going to redesign this. I'm also going to actually give this app a marketing push. Going to then work on my other app, which I did start a few months ago, but I've kind of put down, and it's very much a project that feels like it's in the early days. I am genuinely excited about the world of vibe coding, and I'm trying my best to learn as much as possible, but I'm also trying to find my own little corner of the world right now and define what that is. And I know other people have had this experience where everything is just starting to feel hopeless. Like you don't know how to pull it all back. And that's where I am. And that's, like I say, that could be why my heart's the way it is. It could be why, or my heart could have just added to that. We don't know, but we're going to find out. And I want to show you what that looks like. I thought this was the easiest way to do that. I can pick up a camera, I can talk about what I've been doing, I can show the work, I can talk about it, put it into the world. I don't know what's next. And on Sunday, I'll be back at it again. I will find somewhere to go, sit in London, work on the apps, and I'll bring you along with you. I'll bring you along with me. I'll show you some more of the city that I love, but I might leave. I'll talk to you through the work I'm doing at the moment and how it's going, and I'll just do my thing. And if you are curious as to what happens next, then by all means, please stick around. If you are also in this feeling of not knowing what is next, stick around. Unfortunately, I don't know if there is a happy ending to this just yet, but I'm going to do my damn best to pull one out. Till then, that's, I guess, everything. Catch you around.